As of January this year, all turbo diesel engines in Australia have to comply with what they call Euro 4 emission standards, and that's thrown a spanner in the works with most manufacturers in that they've had to bring out some new high-tech diesel engines to comply with these pollution laws. Now, I've got John here with me, who plays with these diesel engines all day. Mate, what are the main things that manufacturers have had to do to these engines to make them comply with these emissions laws?
Well, the main thing that all these engines have got is they've all had to go to what's called common rail direct injection fuel injection.
I guess it's a good timing here, mate, to talk about what common rail direct injection actually is.
Yep. Okay. Well, common rail is a very, very high pressure fuel injection system, and it is basically, as its name says, we have a high pressure pump, pumps very high pressure to the rail. That rail continually has pressure to all injectors, and then the injectors are controlled by an ECU unit in the dash.
It's very similar to a fuel injection system on an EFI petrol engine, isn't it?
It is very, very similar. The idea is very similar, except we're talking lots more pressure. We're talking up to as high as 30,000 psi of pressure in that rail.
We've all noticed this week that these engines perform really, really well and don't use much fuel doing it. What are some of the secrets within this common rail injection system that allow this to happen?
Well, I think the main thing is, this is why we had to go to high pressure. High pressure injection means far better atomisation, which is better burning of the fuel.
Yes.
If you can burn the fuel better, you'll get more power from it. You'll travel further on your litre of fuel.
Yep. And less emissions.
And less emissions. And of course, keyed with that is we have a turbocharger, which is now a variable geometry turbocharger.
Yes.
And that also works right through the range. So we've got power from the word go right through to the top, and cruise is great, emissions is great, therefore you've got your power and you've got your economy to go with it.
All right. Now, on one of the launches, I was lucky enough to speak to the engineer who actually designed the Mazda BT50 diesel engine. And from what he was saying is that these things are fairly much, when they come out in Australia, they're fairly much underpowered compared to what their potential is. I know the Mazda, for example, can put out 450 newton metres all day, every day, and be as reliable as you want it to be. Yet the manufacturers pull a little marketing trick here, I believe, and they bring it out with, for example, 350, 380 newton metres, so that in the next step, when a new model comes out, they can announce and herald this brand new model with 20 extra newton metres of torque. But with the STEINBAUER kit, I guess you guys can do that immediately, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely, Glenn. We can. That technology is available now with our STEINBAUER power module.
Yes.
It just takes the information that's there and optimises everything. It puts the timing, the fuel and everything at its most optimum, the boost, to be able to just make this engine just a little bit more efficient engine than what it actually is at the moment.
There's a lot of talk about how these aftermarket diesel power-up systems work, but how do they actually work, John?
Well, there's more than one way to make them work, Glenn. One way that people do it is on the common rail pressure sensor. They interlock into that reading going back to the ECU, and that changes that reading, which is not the most preferred way to do it. The preferred way that we like to do is our STEINBAUER box is actually a programmable computer which has its own map of fuel and timing settings in it, and that interfaces between the vehicle ECU and either the injector pump or the injectors, and that changes it to get out to the most optimised positions for everything to operate.
John, this STEINBAUER system basically takes all the inputs from the driver, it then converts them into outputs which maximise efficiency, torque. What can the average user expect as a result of fitting one of these?
Glenn, you can usually expect around about the 18 to 22% torque increase right through the range.
What does that mean if you're, say, towing a caravan, driving around off-road? Does it help you write down low revs when you're trying to chug in low range up steep inclines? Where does it actually come in?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's probably what a lot of customers prefer the product for, is it actually gets them up and gets them going quicker off the mark. If you're towing a big van or something, you get up, you get through that, what we call lag period quicker, get up into your horsepower or your torque system quicker, get moving quicker, you maintain that speed better, so therefore you generally travel along the road faster, stay in a higher gear, and do the job easy, which generally means some fuel saving along the way as well.
All right, so with all this modern high-tech diesel engine now, I guess this STEINBAUER system is the best way to improve the performance, and it's probably akin to tweaking the old diesel pump, is it? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on the old mechanical units, we had to adjust screws, change timings, do it the mechanical way. Now we have a completely computer control system. The only way to talk to a computer is with a computer. So that's what we do with the STEINBAUER box. We talk to that computer to gain the changes that we require, and really that's a very good economical way of getting an 18 to 20% power increase.
All right. Now, we're obviously out here in the middle of nowhere and we've got a limited amount of tools with us. How hard are these things to fit and how long would you recommend it would take to do this?
Look, again, that varies from engine to engine, but this one here that we're doing today is probably the one that takes the longest, only about half an hour to 3/4 of an hour.
That's okay, yeah.
For the first up job. Some very basic tools, just a couple of sockets. We run one wire from the throttle position sensor inside out to the engine bay.
Yep.
And the rest of the system basically actually plugs in. So it's quite a simple fit up, really.
Now, it's almost child's play, I guess you could say. You do sell the kit complete so that it can be done as a DIY installation, but do you recommend that, or would you suggest that someone has it fitted professionally?
Look, I think yes, we do sell it as DIY, and probably there is some smarter guys out there could fit it, but we do prefer if they go to one of our dealers across Australia. We do have over 100 dealers across Australia.
Okay.
And because this is a fairly high-tech engine, it's very easy to damage an electronic component or make a small mistake that anybody can really do.
A costly mistake.
It can be a very costly mistake. So I think for the time it takes, I mean, half an hour to 3/4 of an hour in any garage is not a very expensive fit up. So we do recommend that it be fitted properly by a dealer, and that covers all your warranty and any issues down the track.
All right, mate. I might give you the floor and let you fit this one up, and then we'll see how it goes, eh?
Right, okay, Glenn, we'll do that.
Right, thanks, mate.
Okay, Glenn, start him up.
Works, mate. I've spent a lot of time in each of these utes this week, and I'm starting to believe, or maybe wish, that this Hilux was mine. Fortunately, I've spent a lot of time behind the wheel with this Hilux in standard format without the STEINBAUER power-up module, and it's a peppy little performer, but this is the first decent drive I've had in it with the module in it, and JJ wasn't lying, it really works. Most noticeably, in this high-range four-wheel drive stuff on the gravel, I've noticed that it pulls really, really hard from 2,000 to about 3,500 RPM, a big noticeable difference over previously. And another interesting little bit off-road, we just came up some really steep rocky inclines in low range then, and I had it in first gear, second gear, and at times it was labouring down at about 900, 800 RPM, and it refused to stall when previously I know this thing would have stalled a couple of days before without the power up module in it. So it really does work. We haven't tested it for economy yet, but I can see that this would definitely be a really big benefit to people towing, caravans, boats or whatever, but also especially to us tourers and four-wheel drivers, whether it's for long outback travel or off-road, low range play. It's definitely a big benefit.